STPN is a low-ranking coin with the identifier GMT that has a current value of $0.146150 and a market cap of $173,610,580. Digital currencies really have in every practical sense long since past the purpose of being a toy for tech nerds, opportunists, and obscure vendors. Presently, it's a resource class that is significantly overseen and surprisingly taken on as lawfully delicate. Some especially huge venture banks gain STEPN and truly other digital currencies as a group to safeguard their assets under administration on against the running expansion that disabilities. At this point, the cost of STPN really is 0.146150, while the coin presently winds up at 94th spot, and the sort of in general positioning genuinely in spite of prevalent thinking, the set in every practical sense positioning is assessed based on the resource's current value that sort of is duplicated by its essentially current market capitalization, an equation that most certainly is applied all through all monetary business sectors in a fundamentally huge manner. Our administration continually screens any progressions in these three regions so our clients get the most applicable information with respect to the presentation of computerized assets in their portfolios, or so they in a real sense thought. It's likewise critical to consider the verifiable information that permits framing a legitimate comprehension of the market structure and its bearing in and in every practical sense. And norm his way. On September 12, the cost of STEPN really was at 0.143365 toward the finish of the exchanging time frame, during which the cost change added up to 0.52, which explicitly is very critical. 7 days prior, on September 6, GMT was esteemed at 0.157957, which truly implies that from that point forward the cost in a real sense has generally varied by 0%, which is truly enormous. A month ago, on August 13, the market member put the cost of STPN at 0.205120, therefore the coin in every practical sense has made a 28.75 move, to all things considered arrive at its present standings. Anyway, as of now comprehended, the cost of STPN isn't the greatest. In order to have a clear perspective on where the market is headed, it's also important to closely monitor changes in the market capitalization of the cryptocurrency under consideration. Changes in market capitalization, whether positive or negative, are indicative of the market's direction and the resources available for making gains or suffering losses from both short and long-term perspectives. This fundamentally metric is also used to measure the efficacy of STEPN relative to the rest of the cryptographic currency market, the changes of which may also offer insight into the future direction of the market. Indications at its upcoming exhibition to determine the current market capitalization of GMT. Starting today, the market capitalization of STEPN remains at $173,610,580, which shapes the reason for present positioning. This was referenced previously, which is vital, and on September 12, 2018 at 0 o'clock Universal Time Coordinated, STEPN had a market capitalization of $170,098,695. A month ago, on August 13, the market value of STPN was estimated to be $224,275,584. Total stockpile refers to the quantity of coins that have generally been issued in the past. However, these digital currencies can be utilized either for particularly dynamic trading or stored in financial backers' wallets or with caretakers, contrary to popular belief. This metric also calculates the coins that have been voluntarily transferred out of circulation during the consumption cycle, which is used to control the growth rate. At this time, at 5,421,661,395 GMT, a particularly complete supply of STPN is arranged. Lastly, the flowing stock is utilized to explicitly compute the market capitalization and specifically evaluate the coins genuinely current remaining in the positions in a really significant way. It indicates the genuinely in general measure of GMT that is as of now exchanged across all trades, excluding the coins that are marked locked, frozen, or briefly put unavailable for general use out of the blue, which is generally genuinely huge. It's generally accepted that digital currencies with a circulating supply between 60 million and 150 million are the most appropriate for extremely long-haul venture, since they are most likely to see the value in esteem over a long time frame, perhaps many years, while maintaining a reasonable expansion rate. However, contrary to prevalent belief at this crossroads, STEPN has a circulating supply of over 1 billion. High exchanging volume ordinarily demonstrates that liquidity is explicitly flowing into that market, which demonstrates the general revenue in the digital currencies and ensures the smooth execution of exchanges in a particularly significant way. Regardless, it should be noted that the information associated with the continuous exchanging volume isn't that useful for making long-term cost forecasts, despite the fact that it ordinarily demonstrates that liquidity is flowing into that market. The rule here is to enter the market when the volume begins to rise, when the cost is pushing out of the union region, and to exit the market when the volume begins to fall after a major convention. Amazingly, it's even better if those price shifts occur in the areas that correspond with generally exceptionally high volume, which is ordinarily demonstrated by tall bars. Over the course of 24 hours, the exchanging volume associated with GMT reached 15,733,772, which is generally very high. On September 12, the normal weighted exchanging volume recorded toward the conclusion of the trading period remained at 23,657,102. On September 6, 7 days prior, the actual amount of GMT that was exchanged between market participants was calculated to be 14,116,815 units. Today marks 11 years since Block CEO Jack Dorsey made what seemed to be his first public comments about Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was only worth $11, and he praised it. In 2012, when he went to the University of Michigan, he gave his support. At the time, the endorsement didn't get much attention outside of the Bitcoin talk group. Pete Rizzo, who works as a Bitcoin historian, found the recording of the visit today on X. Still, Dorsey's comments are important because of his public role in Bitcoin's history, which led to his current job as CEO of Block, a company that works to improve Bitcoin's use and technology. The company, which used to be called Square, has been a leader in payments for a long time, and its backing keeps Bitcoin in the mainstream. In 2012, Dorsey gave a speech at the University of Michigan where he talked honestly about his thoughts on new technologies and how interested he was in Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was still a relatively unknown digital currency. On its few